Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for today's weather. We thank you, Lord, for the oncoming rain that we do expect and need so desperately here in South Texas. Lord, we feel for the people in London today. We also feel for the people in Florida, as Dennis could possibly destroy again that beautiful state. But Lord, we have positive things that we need to deal with here in Cameron County. So I pray before you this morning or this afternoon, Lord, that you would deal through our Commissioner's Court, through our county judge, through all the head staff of the county, to do what's best and do what's right for the future of Cameron County. Lord, we lift the agenda today before you, ask you to guide and guard it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. The judge has asked me to do some other items. We have very important people in the audience today from the Texas Historical Commission, and he's running a little late, and he asked me to jump some items here while he gets here. We apologize for that. This is a Commissioner's Court special meeting set for Tuesday, the 7th day of July, 2005 at 3 o'clock p.m. It's approximately 3:03. The first item on the agenda, we'd like to go to item 4, consideration and possible action regarding the posted development of solid waste management facility in Cameron County.
Commissioners, the only item we have today is we ask that you acknowledge that the copy that was presented to the county judge's office of the application, the 4 parts, that it has been filed with the county clerk's office and is in the custody of the court secretary, the minutes of the court.
So where is it available for viewing?
At the county clerk's office with the Commissioner's Court's minute secretary.
Okay.
Secretary minute.
Move to acknowledge report.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion to acknowledge report by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Garza. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Remy. Yeah, we'll go to one public comment. Any public comment out there? No public comment? Any other commissioners?
No, that's just
Anything to say? Thank you. Two items for discussion and action. Budget amendment, line items, transfers, and or salary schedules. Mr. Villarreal.
Commissioners, if you have any questions, all of the transfers are within budget. General maintenance, covering line items for additional costs, and the salary schedule that is attached, excuse me, it's from the Public Health Response Team, Emergency Response Team, where they're changing slot number 9, utilizing lap salaries, changing it from an RN to a Public Health Preparedness Supervisor, increasing the salary.
My only question would be in the community parks.
Okay.
Why are we creating another line item of indirect costs? What is that?
What that is for, that's the $25,000 match for the Santa Maria Church project. There was the grant, it was a total $50,000 grant where they were going to provide $25,000 and the county was going to match $25,000. And the court had, I guess, approved this a few months back, but there was some question, as to whether we were going to be able to move forward with it. And now that the court has taken action to move forward with that project, the money is being placed together so that...
And was that where we discussed it was going to come from?
Yes, from the park system.
Yeah, but from
But it's.
Because here we are
Community
passing
parks.
bond issues for land acquisition, and we're wiping out an account for land acquisition. It doesn't make any sense to me. Evidently, we need money for that particular endeavor, and we're wiping out whatever we have there in the budget this year.
When we began the budget process this year, there was actually $100,000 set aside for land acquisition. And as the year has commenced or has gone forward, for various different items that have come before the court, those funds have been utilized for other
That's my
projects.
concern.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. We started out with money, and we're down to zero as of today's meeting.
Yes.
But that was brought to the court.
Yes,
We voted on
all
it.
the
Yeah.
transfers
Yeah.
were brought to the court. And they
Yeah,
were-
all the transfer were brought. We voted on all the transfers, and the little that was left is being taken at this time.
Move to approve the budget amendments.
Second?
There's a motion by Commissioner John Wood, second by Commissioner Edna Tamayo. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item 3, approval of claims. That's, yeah. Any additions, anything?
There was nothing on my...
Yeah, there was nothing there.
Move to approve the claims as presented?
Second.
A motion to approve claims by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Wood. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 4, consideration and possible action regarding the posted...
We did that one.
I'm sorry, it's item 5. Consideration approval of modification of existing contract between Cameron County and Governmental Records Service, Inc., ACS.
Make a motion for approval?
Second?
Is there any, John?
I guess that's my, going to be discussed last week, and what I'm recommending that we extend it for additional 2 years. And after that, if we want to go out for proposals, I'll be more than glad to do it.
So that,
You've
okay.
been on month to month, Mr. Rivera, from November of last year,
Yes, sir.
which is what, 8, 9 months?
But
October.
about 8 months.
About 8 months. And from here on, you want the next 2 years?
2 years, and after that, if we want to go out for proposals, we'll go ahead and do it. Test the market.
What's the reason for,
We'll have to amend that.
pardon me?
I don't see 2 years here in the agenda item, or am I misreading?
It's in the background.
Oh, it's in the background material.
What's the reason for not going out at this time?
Presently, we have a contract with ACS to finish our historical records, and that expires 2006. It doesn't make any sense to stop the work that's already been started. You know, it just messes up and mulls up the water, you know. That'll tie up our records that date back to 1848 to the present. Right now, they've already finished working from 1969 to 1991. There was not on imaging or scan, and presently they're working from 1969 to 1848.
I know you and I talked about this some yesterday, Joe, and I appreciate the time visiting with you on it. I still have, I guess, a lack of understanding of if it's our employees doing the work, how come we're being billed so much for doing the work? I lose some of that somewhere.
There's 2 contracts. One is daily work that some of our employees do, you know, in-house, and the other one is the work that they do solely by ACS from, and that goes from 1991 back to 1848. That is the most tedious and most the hard-working job, you know. The daily work, as you well know, as a realtor, the public, the title companies, the banks depend to have accurate records, and that's the one that's on a monthly basis, and that's the one that expired in, I think it was either October or November. And it was my understanding, the last time I was here, that it was gonna be extended. I was gonna be on vacation the following week, and I just found out that it hadn't been extended, that it was on a month-to-month basis.
Is
So
that
what
the
I'd
one-
like to do, what's that, sir?
Is that the one that they're charging 16,000?
16,000, yes.
16,000 a month for? But it's our employees actually doing, that's, I guess, where I get lost. If it's our employees doing the work, 16,000 a month is, if you figure más o menos 20 working days in a month, you're talking about $750 a day, you know, for our employees that we're paying someone else.
And the reason
Our
I
employees
did that,
doing the work.
it used to be the other way around, where they did all the work and were charging a heck of a lot more. I was the one that cut it back to that amount, you know, it was up into 20,000, you know, when they were doing all the work, you know. And the reason I like the daily work to be done locally is that we can put up on the screen and onto the public the records as they're filed and are indexed. Okay, that also includes the cash sharing system, where we used to have 3 bookkeepers, now we only have 1. Okay, that's saving the county a lot of money too.
Joe, the next item, it makes sense what you're saying, is they've been there for how long, how many years, this company, ACS?
1969.
1969. It makes sense that, you know, you keep the company there because they know what they're doing and they got all their soldiers in place and all that. But I think item 6, that makes a little bit more sense, to give everyone a chance to go out for proposals, for us to go out for proposals and give ACS and any other company that's out there a chance. Because item 6 says that all the other departments of Cameron County.
I don't have a problem with that, Commissioner.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that.
And isn't it safe to say that item 5 should be also included in 6?
Once the 2 years expires, I'll be more than glad to
Once
do
the
that.
work is completed.
Now, one of the things that you should see also, you gotta compare apples with apples. There's departments that only need scanning and indexing, you know, like the JPs and the councils, like the county court law. There's a lot of departments that can use that service, you know. Ours, as you well know, Commissioner Wood, nobody can collect a check on a sale of a house until it is confirmed by the county clerk's office.
Well, you know, and I understand that, Joe, but houses and properties have been sold a lot longer than we've been doing this, so it's not something that can't be done without it being done. It's a manner in which we're doing it. And I think that's what I'm questioning. If we've got our employees doing the work and we're paying someone $16,000 a month to have our employees do the work, that's the part that confuses me.
But they're not
I'll be
do-
more than glad to come and show you what we got downstairs, Commissioner. Be more than glad to show you.
So it's not the same work that they're doing, though.
There's
No,
two
ma'am.
different works.
It's two
There's a
different,
historical one for $15,000 a month.
it's two different.
Two different things that they're doing, you know. 2 different things that they're doing,
Current and past.
current
Yes.
and past.
Exactly.
And the
As-
current one is the $16,000 a month.
The current work is 16,000, correct. And the archival is 15,000.
And
And this was approved by this Commission's Court 3 years ago.
well, I wasn't here 3 years ago. Maybe if I was, I'd understand it better. The archival work is being done by whom?
ACS.
The actual, it's their employees.
Yes.
Doing that work. Okay. See, that makes more sense to me if their employees are doing that work than the other one where our employees are doing the work.
Well,
And I'm getting lost there,
Well,
Joe.
I've been your county clerk for the last 28 years, and I'd rather have control of what's going on a daily basis than farming it out to somebody else, you know. Because when there's corrections to make, for example, on names, I would rather have a local person making that correction than somebody up in Dallas doing it for me.
Have we ever had records lost or, you know, I guess records lost? Have we had records lost that we
In
haven't
other
been able to
counties,
retrieve?
in other counties, yes.
I'm talking about in Cameron
Not
County.
in Cameron County. You've had good county clerks.
But this company's never had a problem with losing any records.
Yes, sir.
Joe, let me ask you, why would you be opposed to going out for bids on this item? We've never have. I mean, since we're going month to month, like we do with every other contract that we have.
And the reason for that, Commissioner, is because we have one that expires in 2006 and is tying it up to the current business that we do on a daily basis. And that'll be finished in 1.5 years.
So we couldn't do a contract for 1.5 years for the next 1.5 years, or, I mean, with
If that's what
going
you
out for
wanna
bids?
do.
I'm just asking, I don't know, you know?
We could do month to month, you know. We could do month to month, you know. But I feel a little bit safer and a little bit more secured if we have at least a 2-year contract. You know, one of the things that we have in that contract is we can cancel in 30 days, you know, if something goes wrong. You know, and we have that option. We have that option.
Yeah, with technology going the way it's gone in the past few years, it would seem to me that as opposed to us paying more as we go along, which is apparently what this last addendum indicated, that we went from $13,900 to $16,000 a month, that we should maybe be looking at it going the opposite direction, getting to be less because of technology improvements and things, but
Not in
again-
county government.
And again, I'm a little lost, you know, I just think
It always
that's-
goes up.
That's what we find
I know
in
the
private enterprise.
I would
The
think
computers
that-
get cheaper, but the cost gets higher for county.
Now, does that make sense to you, David?
Absolutely not. I wanted to buy my own computer.
Just wondered.
You know, so I can get it
I
cheaper.
would think
One of the
that,
things, Commissioner, one of the things that this company does is that they do upgrades, you know, at no cost to the county. It costs you $16,000 a month, but if a machine breaks, you know, you have a machine the following day.
That's what I was gonna ask you, Joe, because in
haven't
asking
had any
questions about
problems.
this, that's what you said.
So we
And
don't
and to
have
me,
any
that's
problems.
money. That's money being saved.
Well, I would like it to run concurrent to the other component of their contract, and then we go out for bids.
well, let me
Well,
tell
that-
you, there's a lot of questions here that John is asking. Maybe by having, going out for bids for everything, right now, we can air out some of the questions that John has, and we'll have Jared and Remy do the work that they've been doing. Jared and Remy do a very good job on doing investigating and stuff like
That's
that.
a matter of opinion, I think. You know, because what's good for you might not be good for me.
I'm just
You know,
saying my opinion, yes.
I've
It's my
had
opinion.
recommendations brought forth that I disagree with, you know. I mean, I can read and I can look at it, at information, and I can make a determination.
And because of,
I mean,
I-
nothing personal against any of you over there, you know.
I made the
I think they do a great job.
Pete, I made the
Every time I've asked them.
determination on the other benefits that you got along with it, not just the actual work. And to me, that's a savings right there.
Well, and I think we could come out with a lot of savings if we actually went out and had other people look at it, even maybe from ACS. You know, they may be able to come
They
in at
might
a
be
lesser rate.
able to get the whole enchilada.
This has been a point of contention
It's
since I got in Commissioner's Court. And it
And it's
becomes
been
this,
going on and
this
on.
issue of, you know, of renewing or not renewing, of adding a contract that we RFP'd for that we didn't give them. And unfortunately for that department, it's still not digitalized. They still don't have digitalization. I would hope that in number 6, that would be part of that action. The DA's office never got the opportunity to be digitalized and indexed so that information could be made available to people more easily, so that the public could access public information more easily, only because ACS, whoever ACS is, had the contract. You remember, Pete, you know? And we've wasted 2 years of time in which
And it hasn't hurt the county at all.
It doesn't hurt the county.
This month-to-month deal does
It-
not hurt. It's a matter of opinion, like you say.
Exactly.
And we have.
But it's a
other
matter of
companies that
accessing,
wanna-
it's a matter of accessing information for people that need information. And I think it behooves us to to make it available.
And it would be a big problem to you to go for bids and the whole.
I don't have a problem with anything,
Well, that's what I want.
you know,
And
and
number
I think
six,
number
Commissioner.
6 does that, you
Yes,
know.
no, I'm talking
Well-
And
about
number six,
everything.
they'll give you that
We
opportunity.
already have a contract with this company that runs about 2 more years on the other component of the past versus the current. And all I'm saying is run those two concurrently. When we run out, that's our biggest
Then
contract
we'll do the
countywide,
bid.
isn't that?
Right.
You know, do them together. You know, I mean, why piecemeal his office into 2 different possible service providers? That's the only thing I'm
It's been going
saying.
on for 8 months, you know, we've been here.
Are you telling me, Commissioner Benavides, that if we go with 6 and don't do 5, that Aurora de la Garza has
No,
to
I'm
drop
I'm saying to deny 5 and go with 6 and take everybody, all.
Well, Aurora's got another contract too.
She's got another contract.
Should we
Well, you
give
said-
them a 30-day
okay,
notice?
okay. Took a vote on this, you said.
No,
No.
no, we haven't taken a vote. I
We're
made a
discussing.
You
motion.
made a motion,
Yeah,
right?
because we've been discussing this for I
Okay, so
don't know how
you made a
long.
motion
To go ahead and
Okay, so
approve.
there's a motion by Commissioner Tamayo to approve, there's a second.
I second it, yeah.
There's a second by Commissioner Gatz, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Let's go on record that I'm recommending that we go on a two-year basis so that we'll know when something happens, okay? Thank you. Now, what do we do,
Nope.
what do we do on the daily stuff, you know? Do we go on a month to month until?
Just like we were
I-
doing, Mr. Rivera.
Well, but we need to make, do we not need a motion? I make a motion.
Well, the reason this item is on the agenda is because there was a question as to the legality of the payment made for last month's work, okay? Because there is no contract. It was brought to our attention that the contract was non-existent and that potential claim could be disputed as an illegal claim. And the item is on the agenda for that reason.
And so we're back to square one.
Well, we already took a vote on it,
Put it on for next week. Be
Well,
more
I
discussion.
made a motion to
You've
go
got-
month to month.
You have services being provided. What was really bad, the last time this was voted on, is that for about an 8-month period, we accepted those services, utilized them as necessary to his office. I do think, as far as this item is concerned today, if you don't go with an extended period of time, you want to allow us to do an addendum or incorporate the original contract terms and allow a month to month until such time as you've got somebody to provide these services, because otherwise I suspect that's going to
We'd
have a
have
devastating
problems.
effect to his office if it's not performed.
Well, it's gonna be performed.
It's not
But
gonna
it won't be
No,
performed
it
if
won't.
the auditor does not allow or does not present a claim because there's no contract. And I think that was the issue that Mr. Yates had the last time, was that actually there is no contract. When this issue was taken up before, you said, we'll just go month to month. We accepted the services. I don't think anyone on this court would argue that the people that provided the services shouldn't be paid.
Correct.
And that was the way you voted last time, and I do think it would clarify the situation if you would at least allow the legal department to do an addendum to that existing contract, allowing a term of month to month until you go out for proposals.
We would like to do that, month to month.
Well, then that, I've made a motion, Pete, to that effect. And so now we'll add that that you go ahead and add an addendum to it.
Well,
That's what-
I have a concern with that motion because unless you would consider that a modification of existing contract.
Well, I would like to do this. I
Under
would
the-
like to go month to month and then table 6 and come back next week, but we'll include all department heads.
Under the original contract, I believe there was a
Was it
provision
waived?
to allow, and that's been 8 or 9 months ago, the extension, automatic extension for 2 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if you, in effect, you'd be making a counteroffer to this company, you could in effect say to them, we're going to go out for proposals. As soon as we can get that process taken care of, we need to be able to terminate within a 30-day period at such point as we have the proposals and we make a decision. If they'll accept that, the work that Mr. Rivera's office needs to be done could be done until that point in time, as long as the company agrees to it, and then you could go out for proposals if that's the policy that the court wants to take.
I mean, if you're going to go ahead and authorize
And month to
proposals.
month for the next year and a half? you said?
No, sir, not necessarily until
We
proposals
come
are
back with
handled.
proposals. Was this
So-
original contract, was it, and you weren't here, Edna, David, maybe you remember if this original contract was done 3 years ago or whenever it was?
2001.
Okay, was it done on a proposal basis or on a?
It was done on an
bid basis?
extension basis with a reduction.
And
No,
before
a
that,
small
it was-
increase.
And
yeah.
before that, it was on a proposal. We went after proposals.
For proposal?
In 2001, it was an extension.
Yes,
And before that, proposals.
yes.
Well, I have the motion to go ahead month to month, and what do we need to, legal counsel? How do we have to word that in order to be able to?
Allow the negotiation of a month-to-month service agreement with the existing company. It will in effect be an offer to them because under the original terms, we had the right to extend for an additional 2 years. You're not wanting to do that, so you'll have to go back to them and say, we'll keep you on a month-to-month basis. Understand that we're going to go out for proposals for these services, and as soon as the county's ready to make a decision on that, then we would give you notice, and either you would continue on if you're the successful proposer, or we would replace you with whoever we choose.
Was it an extension for 2 years with the right to terminate within 30 days?
That would be the best. Go ahead and retroactively go back and authorize the extension for 2 years, but make as a condition a 30-day
Yeah,
out.
but the condition of a
That's-
30-day out exists in the contract already, okay?
It's already.
It exists in every contract we have in the county, except for maybe one or two,
So that,
Then
okay?
you-
So the 30-day out is there, you know, it's...
It's already, it's there.
So that failed.
Well, you can go ahead and extend for the 2 years then. Exercise that option. If you're comfortable with getting out on 30
And when
days
you go,
notice.
and when you go out for proposals, and if you accept this company or any other company, then we have that option of 30 days to get out of the contract, you know.
I want to stay on a month-to-month basis right now.
Well, you actually are, because we
That's what I want, and that's what Edna said, too. Okay, she wants to make that motion. That's where I want to stay. Right now.
Pete, there's a
So-
30-day out anyway.
I think Commissioner Garza is correct in that if we're going to exercise the option we're entitled to, we ought to go ahead and exercise the 2-year option with the idea that it's understood on 30 days' notice we can get out. You're still on a month-to-month
If
basis.
we were going to exercise that, we need to exercise it retroactive back to when this one terminated.
That's
Not from
fine.
today.
Oh, that'd be fine.
I mean,
I don't
that's-
Because you've
That's-
already
that's
paid, you've paid in
exactly.
accordance with the
Paid
contract
6 months
already.
already, you know, it doesn't-
Right.
10.
or 10 months, you know.
10 months.
I don't have a problem with that, John.
I don't-
If
I
you
don't-
make that motion,
Well, I need to,
or
I need
Edna
to,
makes it.
Go ahead and make that motion.
well, I need to withdraw the motion
Okay,
I
there's a
made.
motion to withdraw the motion before by Commissioner Tamayo and second by Commissioner Garza.
No, I didn't second it.
You don't want to second it. You're the only one that made the motion.
No, I didn't second her motion.
No, not the one,
Okay.
month to month.
Okay.
It wasn't seconded.
Those in favor say aye, I guess.
Aye.
We have to go through the whole motion. Okay, there's a motion by,
Which one?
you want to make it down?
No.
Anybody else?
No, I'm not making a motion.
I'll make a motion to extend the contract with the stipulations in the addendum that include, you know, commencing that contract whenever the end of the original contract ended. And, you know, the stipulation of 30 days is included in every contract, so.
So that'll make it how many months? How far?
That makes it 30 days from whenever we take
No, but How
action.
many, from the last contract that we have, how many months to this day?
It ended September
That's going to
31 of
be-
2004.
You
so-
you
It was
have
in
that date, don't you?
2004.
It ended September 31 of 2004.
So, you know,
Okay?
extend it from that day with the 30-day out that is included in there.
Said October 30th. So
October?
it was October, or no, September
September.
30th, 2004, so that it would be up September 30th, 2006.
That's excellent.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's my motion.
Second on
There's
that
a
one.
motion by Commissioner Garza to extend it for the remaining of the contract period, which is starting of September of 2004 to September of 2006. And there's a motion by Commissioner Edna.
No,
Mike?
No, I seconded.
I made the
He
motion.
made the
Okay,
motion.
second by Commissioner Edna. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
I'll go with that.
So we have a contract.
Yes.
Thank
No,
you.
we have the one from the 6 months on.
With a 30-day out, Joe.
From 04 to 06.
With a 30-day out.
That's right. Okay, item 6, consideration and possible action regarding the issuance of a request for proposals, qualifications for document imaging and indexing documents, preservations, microfilm preservations, emergency backup, consulting regarding county records management plans and/or general records preservations for county departments.
Who's presenting?
Who's got this RFP?
Yeah,
Can I
that's-
see a copy?
An RFP doesn't exist as of yet, Commissioner.
Okay.
The item was placed on the agenda to determine whether the court was willing to move in this direction and to offer up the document imaging services to the various departments that now appear to want to be included in the service. Essentially, as it stands right now, there are different contracts for different departments to provide this type of service because each department has different needs with their document retention and the types of documents that they're seeking to have imaged and indexed. The District Attorney's Office has requested some assistance in document imaging, as well as the Sheriff's Office and some of the records that they have. So we were asking for the opportunity to call these departments together to find out exactly what their needs are, to prepare a request for proposal so that we can place it out in public and see what responses we're able to get.
It might have been
Well,
appropriate to
that's-
put on there possible, maybe for consideration and discussion, not action.
Well, it was the action regarding the issuance of it. The action I would look for is the direction of the departments that we should
Okay.
anticipate to work with our department, the computer department, to put together.
Commissioners, we've gone out for RFP a number of times in the last 12 years. Our last attempt was through the district clerk's office. And in that particular RFP, there was a section for miscellaneous copying that would have allowed other departments to piggyback onto that particular contract. What we'd like to do is supply to the Commissioners Court a copy of the original RFP that the county clerk used, I believe, in 94 or 96. And then also provide to the Commissioners Court a copy of the RFP that involved the district clerk's office for y'all review. And then through that process, you as a board can make some changes, and so that when we fashion the RFP process for all countywide documents, then we can have your input in that. Y'all can start with something more than ground zero. Thank you.
Mike has.
Excuse me, Commissioners, there's an RFP that's been on hold since May of last year for the District Attorney's Office. And I believe the committee made a recommendation, it came before the court, and at that time, the decision was to keep it on hold until the new district attorney took office, and they would review it and make a recommendation to the court as to where they'd like to go with that RFP. I know they have it. I know
They
they're
already did it.
reviewing it. I don't know when they'll present that to the court or what their recommendation will be. But that RFP is on hold and it exists. But no final action's been taken on that RFP for the DA's office. I know the Sheriff's Office went out for some quotes for imaging services just as recently as 3 weeks ago, and the quotes were awarded. The quotes are good for a year. It's an annual quote. It's under $15,000, I believe it was $5,000-$6,000, something like that.
For the full year?
For a full year, 365 days, and we asked that they honor the price, unit pricing, for a full year to accommodate the needs of the Sheriff's Department. And they prepared their scope of work for those services, and they did go ahead and select a low quote for their
Well,
services.
nothing has come before Commissioner's Court yet.
No, it's a quote under well under 15,000.
It's under
And
the-
they've been working with Javier Villarreal because they're looking to do this in next year's budget, and that's the reason they haven't done a PO yet. But the low quote was QDI, and they met with all the vendors that quoted this for them. It's a small project to take care of their record needs, and they were happy with going in. Is that correct, Sheriff?
That's correct, Mike. We have records right now that the Texas Commission just kind of requires forever. We have over 300,000. We have a bunch of files that the commissioners, how are you? And we did go check into it, which is one that is here locally. We were very much impressed with the kind of work they do and the kind of business they have, and also they will keep a backup on it. So we thought that was very, very good, and they were the lowest right here. So that's what we discussed with Javier and here Mike. And as a matter of fact, the gentleman that plays is right here, Mr. Ivy Arroyo, and we certainly think that he can do a great job. We visited on a couple of occasions, and it looks outstanding.
Sheriff, what you said, they're going to be doing how many records
About 300,000.
during the year for about $5,000?
That's
I don't have the actual amount, but it was under 15,000.
Well, under 15,000. And just to kind of draw a comparison, Mr. Rivera, your contract, the $16,000 or the $15,000 a month contract is for 166,666 images for $15,000 in 1 month. And we've done that for 10 months already. So it seems to me like, things, maybe the prices are going down on being able to get this work done.
There's also a third department I think I need to mention. You're probably well aware of this. There's the district clerk's contract.
Yeah.
And that was proposed. They're using ACS, and that contract ends May 31st, 2007.
And that was RFP, right?
Correct.
Yes, it was.
And awarded.
How long, how many years was that?
That was
For how many years?
4 years.
It's been a long
Off the top of
time,
my
yeah.
head, it was either 3 or 4 years.
Well, the end is 2007.
Correct. May 31st.
Well, it might be a good idea to set all these contracts at the same termination point. Although the sheriff's particular imaging needs may be different than the county clerk's, as in document management. And perhaps that's an analysis that we need. How the sheriff managing his documents versus the county clerk and district clerk, and who are the end users. Because most of his documents are for internal use purposes, isn't that correct?
Well, not all of them, but many of them are.
Right.
I would like to see the district clerk's contract end at the same time that Joe Rivera's department, which is September of 2006.
And Mark, you're right, you're
Well, they
right.
got a 30-day out.
The different offices may have, and probably do have, different
Exactly.
needs for what they're doing. And just from looking at strictly numbers and volume, you can't compare 300,000 for less than 15,000 over a year's period of time as to 166,000 each month for $15,000. It's hard to be able to compare, just looking at numbers, it's hard to justify those, but
For my
different needs and different issues.
participation in the process we had in the 1990s to initially select ACS was that that's a document management system. And since then, Kodak or Meta or Icon have come with document management systems. And there's a little bit of difference between just having an image burned on a CD that we can look on our PC versus having something that's indexed and managed. Now, I'm not saying either company's best at it, but there are a number of
But
images.
as you've indicated, since that time, a lot of companies have come up with these systems, and generally that makes it more competitive and creates a lower cost to the end user.
Right. In fact, we were approached by Icon a number of months ago to entertain a demonstration on their product.
Okay.
I want to make sure that the people that are involved have input, and I want to just clarify that. For instance, the department heads will have input. I mean, it's going to be dictated to them as to what's going to happen.
The proposal that we were suggesting was going to include that input, Commissioner. I think that just by the discussions you've had here, there were a couple of things I wanted to add. that on the proposals that were on hold from the district attorney's office, some of those proposals were based on 120 days that the offer was good for. And I think that time has lapsed. So I don't know whether or not if the court actually awarded one of those, the numbers that were presented would still be adhered to, would be my first caution. The second one is that when you hear the various prices, to hear that the sheriff is able to achieve his at such a low rate when that rate is almost less than the monthly rate that was proposed in the proposals for the district attorney's office, which was based on a 500,000 image per year contract. That there's different levels and there's different needs for each of the departments, and right now each department is going on its own to achieve it, and I don't think the county is getting the best price for that service. No matter how good they are and no matter how quickly they're able to do the turnaround, I think it's incumbent upon the county to determine whether or not they can do this more effectively, either through an RFP process or even to bring the service in-house. If we already have county employees performing the service, I don't know why we couldn't try to put a proposal together ourselves in order to perform the service, because it's an extraordinary amount of money that's being paid out on a yearly basis for these services.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
Well, and we have a 30-day out of the contract, so if we want to go out and figure out if we can do better, that's an option.
Well, then I think the instruct the computer department to put together a proposal on this also. One advantage of having this outsourced is that the companies who invested a number of dollars in research and development are up on the latest technology and the industry standard. And using that service, that brings it to us. Now, us, as a county doing it, counties have a habit of holding on to what I call legacy equipment for a long period of time. I mean, for example, when I started as county auditor in '92, we had already had a computer system there for 17 years we were relying on it because it's paid for and reliable, but its time had gone.
Well, Commissioner Hernandez, I move that we go ahead and approve the discussion of the potential issuance of an RFP for imaging and for doing all those things, document preservations, everything listed under the agenda item.
And I'll second that if we ensure that people will have input.
I don't have a problem doing this, I mean, this is what it's all about.
Let me tell you what I have a problem where I have a problem is to have the department heads, all of them come up here with a company that's been there since the 60s and 70s. They become family already. They're not going to deviate from that. For us to make the decision, not the department heads.
Well, but
And
the-
we make the decision.
The department heads need
But
to
I-
put in their input on what they need and what they. what they're doing.
My point is that they know what they need in their department, and they need to give you that input. And ultimately, we will make the decision.
There's a motion by Commissioner Vargas, a second by Commissioner Tamayo. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Item 7, consideration and possible action to continue funding for deputy clerk, district clerk, which provides support services at the Carrizales Record Detention Center.
Where is the funding coming from, Javier?
Within the district's clerk's budget, there actually is funds available within salaries if the court.
To continue that? Is that full-time?
Right now it is.
Is this compatible with the district clerk? Is she?
I spoke with Mr. Garza. We're going to have to sit down and readdress the duties of the clerk because previously she was under the direction of the temporary justice of the peace. But now that it's on the rotation basis, there's probably going to be an opportunity for that individual to come back to the clerk's office and perform services there. So we're going to sit down and work with them on that.
Yeah, the sheriff has something I think he wants to say. Randy.
I'm sorry, I'm getting involved in that particular meeting because I think that perhaps if we pay for it, I think that particular clerk should come under the sheriff's office.
Well,
Are you paying through it from
the district clerk's office.
Okay.
But we do want to work with your office.
Okay.
But it needs to be coordinated with you because
She's
it
been there a
affects
long
your
time. We don't have a
operation.
problem with her.
Yeah.
Well, the only concern is that when the other position ended, that this position's funding also ended, right?
Yes.
Okay, at the end of last month. I know I visited with the majority of the JPs, and they have expressed a concern of needing the services being provided by this individual to more efficiently be able to do their work. And we've asked them to come back again and do the rotational type service for the detention center. And they are willing to do it, right, Remy? They all agreed to the rotational basis.
Yes.
But they really need this
Help
help
them
to be
out.
able to get things expedited.
That makes it reasonable because that particular person is constant there where
Right.
they're rotating through. I make the motion to approve.
Second.
So there's a
And the
motion.
funding is there, that's what you said.
Yes, it's in lab salaries and expenses.
Commissioner Wood, there's a second by Commissioner Garza. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I am now asked to go into executive session. The gentlemen that are here from out of town have to catch a plane. I'll ask a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
By Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Garza. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then we're gonna go see for VTCA Government Code Section 551.071. That was the 18A, 18B. VTCA Government Code Section 551.071. C, VTCA Government Code Section 551.071. D, VTCA Government Section, Code Section 551.071. E, pursuant to VTCA Government Code Section 551.072. My cool glasses. The Blues Brothers, okay?
Move to go into open session.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We're now in regular session. Did y'all discuss 18A?
No.
Okay, 19A, possible action on confirm with Commissioners Court legal counsel concerning Kansas County versus Parker USA, formerly known as Landmark. Motion to table.
Yeah, no
We
action.
didn't discuss, no action.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Benavides, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 19D, possible action on confer with Commissioners Court legal counsel concerning issues regarding the Cameron County Detention Centers and the Cameron County Sheriff's Administration building. Motion to table.
No, we need to,
Go forward.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry, yeah. Issue an order to proceed, motion to order the architect to proceed with the design on,
design development on the
design development on repairs to the Cameron County Detention
I'll make that
Facility.
motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Benavides, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 19C, possible action on confer with Commissioners Court legal counsel concerning solid waste disposal in Cameron County, on which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body will be disciplinary legal professional conduct to state bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Open Meetings Act. Motion to authorize counsel for Commissioners Court counsel to negotiate fee agreement in phases with counsel.
1 and 2?
1 and 2.
Okay.
so moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 19D, possible action on confer with Commissioners Court legal counsel concerning Juan Jose Mireles versus Cameron County. Corral Cantu, cause number 2004-12-6113E for discussion and the authority to hire outside counsel for Corral Cantu. Motion to allow Commissioners Court counsel to withdraw.
Well, I think what we want, Judge, is for you to withdraw permission for legal counsel to represent the Conrad Cantu in his individual capacity.
That's right.
What is that?
I thought just withdraw.
Withdraw.
Yeah, but you're withdrawing permission for him to represent because there may be an issue in the federal court.
Yeah.
So moved.
Well, we're giving him permission to move to withdraw, yeah. But there's no act, we're not taking any action to hire any outside counsel.
Moved and second.
Motion,
I made the motion.
by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 19E, possible action on confer with Commissioners Court legal counsel concerning issues relating to the possible acquisition of real property for the Dancing Building renovation project.
Move to allow Texas Historical Commission to do a scale and survey the areas of question so a determination can be made to the number of internments that could potentially be there.
No, second that, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Benavides. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by state and
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Did you all do everything up to 8?
Up to, yes.
Stop by for 8, Judge, in the act.
8, consideration approval for the authorized check pay agreement with First National Bank for the clearing account and payroll account. Do I hear a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Seconds.
Motion by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Garza. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by state and I.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion, my abstention, and can I have an affidavit?
Yes, sir.
9, consideration approval of the business web banking agreement with First National Bank. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Wood. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by state and I.
Aye.
Motion carries. Vote my abstention, and I need an affidavit on that one as well. 10, consideration and approval of the banking resolutions for listed 79 new accounts with First National Bank. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by state and I.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Vote by abstention. Need an affidavit on that too. 11, consideration and approval of floor plan with the Port Isabel Annex building. Who got that? Mr. Mendez.
The previous item, item number 10, could you please reference Exhibit A as the list of accounts?
He said Exhibit A, you didn't hear him?
I missed it, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's part of the attachment.
It's the attachment.
Listen,
You need some assistance. You need to go see your dad about a little. Okay. Your colleague, I think the word is colleague.
Good evening, Judge, Commissioners. We met last week with all the department heads. Some of the requests were to include this parking lot as a base bid in the project. Originally, we had it as alternate number 1. They want to use this parking lot for employees, so that would be in a base bid. It's another $19,000 to $20,000 for that parking lot. Another request is to include storm shutters on all these windows and the doors. All the exterior doors, all the exterior windows will have the storm shutters. These 3 doors that are out here will also have a keypad hardware on the doors, and that was requested also. The plan is we still want to finish this project by the end of July. Receive bids mid-August, and present bids to you all end of August, and start construction hopefully in September.
and you anticipate that being how long of a construction process?
We're hoping if they start construction in September, finish sometime in May of 2006.
I thought you said July.
Well, that's when they would be done with,
They would be,
The plans.
The plans.
The plans would be done.
Ready the end of this month. We'll go out for bid mid-August.
Oh, you mean the specs?
The specs.
The plan and specs will be completed at the end of July. Receive bids mid-August and
Start
present
construction.
bids to you all end of August. Start construction sometime in September.
and the meetings that we had included all of the officials that will be in that building. Everyone got, not what they wanted, but they compromised to what was presented and were happy with it. And I think they all initialed the plan, right?
Offices in that place?
Sorry?
Does the sheriff department have any
No.
offices?
No.
Constables.
Just a constable. Constable has
JP.
deputy, constable, and interrogation.
There's a probation office.
Judge, there's an office space that currently is allocated to the DPS and TABC that they use primarily during spring break, that if the sheriff's office wanted to utilize that one as well, could be available.
They're not gonna keep anything there. They just need an office.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
So why
And
can't the sheriff department use that?
They
office?
can,
well, that's what he's saying.
yeah.
So they're only gonna use
Other
it
than
for
the spring break.
Yeah,
I think all we need is a place for the sheriff's office to go in there and do paperwork, just like DPS and so.
Yeah, and that room is there.
Is there a cell in that,
No.
No, because we utilize the Port Isabel City.
As far as the cost, the building itself is 5,700 square feet. We're looking at $150, $160 per foot, including irrigation. The 10 parking spaces, we're looking at $900,000.
How much did we borrow for that?
1.2 million.
No need that.
No. I'm just trying to make sure we have enough, okay?
Okay.
Well, that's where we're at. We'll hopefully come back to you all at the end of August with bids.
All right, that looks good.
Move to approve that.
Thank you, Mr. Mendez.
Motion by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Tamani for discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 12, consideration of approval of floor plan for the Harlingen Annex building.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Do you have an elevation on one?
We don't have an elevation yet, sir. No, we've met, we were here a couple of weeks ago and we presented just the layout. We wanted to get a footprint first, just the layout of departments and how they related to each other before we went on to, we'll get elevation once we get an approval on this plan, move on to the design development phase.
This is just to approve the floor plan.
The layout.
I mean, that was hard.
Since last, yes, Commissioner Garza was there with us. You should have before you, I believe, some notes from the meeting that we had, a layout of the floor plan, a layout of the site plan, a schematic layout of the site plan, and also a schedule that we're proposing for this project. The layouts, we met with the department heads, as I said last time, and there's the modifications that we were asked to provide them are minimal in nature. You have just some changes here in the tax department. What's in green is the tax department. What's in blue is the changes in the court. What's in this blue over here is the public, I'm sorry, these are the sheriff areas for all departments, and what's in this green is the sheriff's department. What's in the, what's back here is a dignitary space. This is the main entry to the building. We have a lobby, large open. From the lobby, you'll be able, every department will have equal or at least equitable visibility from the lobby, so if a visitor comes in, when your taxpayers come in, they can visually see themselves and go to every department from that space. There's an entry from the back for the employees, and there's a separate entry back here from the sheriff's department that can bring prisoners and hold themselves. There's a direct correlation between the sheriff's department and direct access to the courtroom. We've met with the department heads, either the head was there or one of the representatives was there. We have comments, they're minimal in nature, until like the tax office, employees does us to changes to rooms that have access directly to that space. But the spaces are, what we're gonna change is gonna be very minor in nature. We're ready to proceed to the next phase, which is the design development phase. I can go over the schedule if you like. Or...
Yeah, I'd like to, why don't you go ahead and roll this schedule.
Okay. The schedule we'll present it to you today, and if we get approved today, that'll mark the start of the design development. We want to plan 3 meetings with the departments, and we'll meet with each department in a set time, an hour, 2 hour times, whatever time it takes, to meet with them to develop their individual space, to identify the casework, the millwork, the cabinets, the receptacles, where they're going to have their data outlets, that sort of thing. We'll meet with them first time, get the comments, come back with them a second time, review it, and then have additional comments, and the third time, hopefully we'll get it right. And after that, we'll come and present to you what's been approved from those departments, and we plan to do that on August 30th. If that's approved, then we're able to proceed. The CD phase will begin on August 31st, then we will have we're planning to have 50-cent review set on September 27th, a 95 review set on October 20th, and then present to you guys plans and specs on November 1st. And then that allows us to advertise on the 6th and the 13th of November, and have a pre-bid conference on the 17th, receive bids on the 30th, which will be after Thanksgiving. And then we can recommend to the commission on December 6th, and then hopefully on that meeting you can award that contract and construction will begin soon thereafter. And we're projecting anywhere between 10 and 13 months construction, depending on what's happening at that time with materials. As you know, last time we discussed the availability of concrete and how it's an allocation at this point. You have to line up to get concrete.
So the schedule that you included here is what you're following?
Yes, ma'am. We're proposing that. We believe that's realistic. As long as we keep our meetings and we get the approvals in a timely manner, I foresee this to be a very realistic and doable schedule.
All the concerns that were expressed by some of the individuals that will be occupying the building I think we're very well taken into consideration with developing of the plan.
If you look at this information, what I did, I noted everybody that was present at the meeting, and then I have comments on the left-hand side and the action that we were either directed to proceed with or the direction that we think is in the best interest of the facility. And that's their intent to follow that as well. But the comments, and it's divided by each department, JP's courtroom, tax office, constablers, and so forth. But their comments are here, they're on record, and what's also on record is what we intend to do with those comments.
Well, I did want to let you know that today I made phone calls mainly to the two JPs, because I was another county business when you had that meeting and wasn't able to attend.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I knew they had some concerns before.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
today I followed up with phone calls in case I wanted to make sure and hear it from them if they had any problems, and obviously everything was worked out.
It was worked out. With that, Judge Wise wanted to somehow partition
Yeah,
the
the
courtroom, but we have some other spaces that can be utilized. And there's a set and
His main concern was to have a second area
Exactly.
so that
And-
they could be operating at the same
Exactly.
time.
And we have areas in the facility that, in the shared spaces, that can be utilized for second area here or here. And so there's still, there's that possibility.
So he was
He was okay.
he was okay with it because I talked to him.
Okay, move to approve the floor
Second.
plan.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we hope the schedule stays.
Yes, sir.
On track.
Let me ask you this before I forget. You were talking about these meetings with these department heads to talk about cabinet space and that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
Why is that important for the design portion of it right now? I mean, I thought, did we not decide that Marcelino was going to go in there and do the furniture and stuff?
But the location of the built-ins, Judge, and the amount of storage space that each department would need for various forms and access and how easy they're get to would be part of the design process.
They do the
And then
design.
Marcelino would actually go and build the actual.
Yes, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Remy.
You're welcome.
You've earned your money.
Well, I'll just add something else. Judge Weiss was very particular about that, and I noted on the minutes. He wanted to be involved in the development of space.
Yeah.
We assign them equal space, and they have just the same amount of space that Judge Gonzalez has and Judge Weiss has. But he would rather assign his space, for example, he would not want one of the walls in there, and that's the sort of thing. But what we discuss is that you have an amount of space, we're trying to keep within that space. Within that space, we can do certain things that are more adapted to your needs. And likewise for Judge Gonzalez, we can do that as well. But we are within the confines of that space.
Footprint's going to stay the same, the walls may change.
Yes, sir.
And you will be getting with Mr. Sepulveda in regards to the parking lot and all
Yes.
those areas, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
all.
All right, any questions, comments, concerns on the consent items 13 through 16, and travel item number 17?
On the travel item 17E, it's not Texas Association of Counties, it's the Texas County and District Retirement Systems that they're going to that training.
And Judge Commissioners, on 13, we have 4 of the water companies, their boards have already approved this interlocal agreement, and 3 of them will be on for this coming week for their board approvals.
But you've been in contact
I've been in
with...
contact with them all.
Move to approve, Judge, the consent and travel items.
Motion
Second.
by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Pete's hungry. Pete made a motion.
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Bernadette.
Second?
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. We're now adjourned.
There's a resolution we need to signature on.
Where is it?
Right.